Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Flaminia, a knitter from Italy, and welcome to my knitting podcast. This is another episode, and I am feeling a little bit kind of differently for this one because I don't have anything big finished. I don't have anything too big started, but I have a test call and I have started my Christmas jumper, and I frogged an old project so I could fix it. Like, I frogged a lot of it. I frogged most of it. If you know, you know, but I'm going to show you. And as it is Soctober, so we're already halfway through Soctober, I realized that it was Soctober, and I was like, I'm just going to start some socks. That's where I'm at the moment. So if you're interested, there's a giant wasp outside. If you're interested, please keep watching. I'm wearing my Sandro Pullover V-neck, as you can see, this stunning creature, and yeah, I have a tester call for this. I'm so excited. If you haven't seen, hello, I'm in heaven. If you haven't seen the original Sandro Pullover, let me show it to you in all its beauty. Here it is. Maybe it's better if I put it here. Yes, look how stunning. And like the pairing of both, like, you know, the baby blue and the baby pink just makes me the happiest. But so yeah, this was the original version, and as soon as I finished this, I was like, this needs a V-neck version. And everyone in the tester, like all my testers for this, were like, we need a V-neck version. Like, you know, people were like, we need a V-neck version, a T version, a vest version, a cardigan version. I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, I feel like that too, but one step at a time. I feel like it's good start, just one step at a time. So they are a bit different in the sense that, you know, their overall vibe is the same, you know, but the shoulder construction is different. This has a European shoulder, so you cast on at the back and then you work increases every row to shape the back yoke, while with this, hope you can see, is shaped with German short rows. And I love this so much. Like, it's so seamless. I hope that I'll put a picture somewhere. I don't know if it was the best idea to like wear it, because like if I want to show you details, then it is a bit harder. But anyways, like, you can see the seam. It's extremely pretty, and I love it. So this is like a drop shoulder with short rows, and this was a European shoulder, so it's different. Sleeves still have short row shaping at the top, and I feel like even if this is very oversized, it still gives like such a nicer fit. I don't know. It just follows this length of the shoulders perfectly, and you know, I'm a bit nerdy. It makes me very, very happy. So I'm very happy about that. The main feature of this one is the V-neck, of course, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. You know, I'm sorry, apart from the microphone, of course, you can see, I don't know, I love how it looks. It looks, I think, so neat. I'll just give you some time to look at it because it's stunning. The scent of double decrease is stunning, and yeah, I love it. I think it fits the vibe so perfectly. Then I think the sleeves are a bit more oversized on this one. Maybe you cannot see it so much on my sample because, yet again, my gauge was off on my sleeves. Like on this one, if you were here while I was designing this, one of the two sleeves is a bit smaller because the gauge was different. Anyway, this is the one with the correct gauge. This is the one with the smaller gauge. And these I have smaller gauge on both sleeves, but to be honest, I'm not bothered because they're the same. And I realized just like, you know, 1 month and a half, even 2 months after I finished it, so I was like, you know what, not that big of a deal. But I'm telling you, they will be slightly larger than what they look like on me now. This is size 3. Yeah, that I knitted for myself. This was size 3 as well. The recommended yarn is Drops Daisy, so now I can like report a bit on how it's wearing. Not very well as we anticipated, but it's so soft. It's so soft, so I don't really care. But you know, I've seen worse. Maybe. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Yeah, here, like I haven't worn this a lot. But you know, the first round of pilling is definitely the worst because it's like the pilling is a bit fluffy, while here, like they are well defined pills. So they're a bit easier to shave, and yeah, and they don't start being as noticeable until like they start forming really a lot. While here you can already see it's a bit fuzzy and like not the neatest. But to be honest, this yarn, I can say again with a lot of experience, it shaves really well. You know, it's not one of those yarns maybe super washed. When they peel, they have that plastic coating that like you cannot really get it to look new again, or like you cannot really get the peels out. This is really this is all 100% merino wool, so it's pretty nice and it's pretty easy to get the peels off because it's so soft. You know, it's so soft so it peels, but it's natural, so it's easy to get the peels off, if it makes sense. Drops Daisy is a DK weight yarn, so the gauge of the sweater is 22 stitches per 32 rows, pretty standard for DK weight gauges. I reached this gauge with 4.5 millimeter needles because I'm a tight knitter, and it has around 30 centimeters of positive ease. Of course, it'll vary whether you are like bang on the size or, you know, a bit smaller or like in between sizes, but recommends 30 centimeters of positive ease. So cozy. I think 25 to 30 is my sweet spot with positive ease. I love, especially with drop shoulders, because I think with the drop shoulder you need a bit more of positive ease anyway, but I like it. There are 10 sizes available, from a 80 centimeters bust to 152 centimeter bust, and you know the correspondent in inches. Please don't hate me, but I don't know what that is. It's the same as the Sandro crew neck, so if you already made it maybe, or whatever, you can reference the size and the positive ease for this and it'll be the same. So yeah, you can apply to test this, and the test knit period will be 11 weeks as per the crew neck version, and it will start on the 25th of October and it'll last until the 10th of January. They're both Fridays, so today is Thursday, so the test call is going live tomorrow as this video, and I'll have 1 week to select testers, and then the next week the test knit will start. So I'm very, 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 very excited. This was a bit hard to grade. Like I hope it's fine. Like logically it is, but you know, I think every designer has that moment when you're like, oh God, this is going to test. I hope everything is fine. But you know, test knits are to find, you know, mistakes out. And everyone goes into the test knit being like, oh yeah, of course, this is the, you know, the most perfect version of the pattern that I can produce. Because of course, like without feedback from other people, that's, you can only reach a certain level of perfection. But I'm very, very curious to see whether, you know, the v-neck turns out great for all sizes, especially, you know, they're kind, I hope it is consistent from, the first size to the 10th size, because that was a bit of like, mind stretch. But I think I figured it out. So I'm so happy. And so please, if you've been waiting for this, or if you're seeing this for the first time, and you're like, I would really like that, and you have some time on your hands, please apply to test this. And also, it doesn't take too long, I would say. But of course, if it takes, like, if you're not able to finish, the entire body of this sweater, or the second sleeve of the sweater, it's not going to be a big problem. Or, if mistakes comes up and, you end up, like everyone ends up needing more time, I'm just going to extend the test knit, because we are in chilling mode right now. Me as well. I'm trying to like survive. So I'm very chill at the moment. So if you want to take this chill, please, like, no worries, especially if you're like in the biggest sizes and you're like, I don't know if I'll, get it done in time. Like, to be honest, what I really need, like, of course, I would like ideally everyone to finish, but especially in the bigger sizes, if you're not able to finish like an arm or the rest of the body, the main part that I need is really the yoke and maybe one sleeve, just to check the grading. But yeah, anyway, again, so it's quite chill. I don't know. I've received this as a feedback from my testers in the past. They're like, I like testing with you because you're very chill. I don't know if it's a Gen Z thing, but yeah, we're chilling. And so if you'd like to apply to test this for me, thank you so much. And thank you in advance for everyone who will I hope will be interested in this. And if I end up not accepting everyone, just keep in mind that, sizing distribution is very, very much a normal distribution. Like, there are so many people in the central sizes and not a lot of people in the, biggest and smallest sizes. Like, I wasn't confused, but I was surprised to find out that sizes 1 and 2 really don't get a lot of applicants as well as the last 2 or 3 sizes. So please don't get discouraged. And every time I'm picking testers, I try to like get some people that I already know, if there are, and some people that are new, like a great mix, so I don't get too anxious. Because I know like everything both worked well with the old people, but I also get some other people that are new, so they don't have the bias of like knowing what I mean, like getting used to my writing style, because not many people have knitted my design, so that's not that hard to find. But anyway, the Google form will be linked in the description box, and you can give me your details, and hopefully in a week or so you'll be notified whether you've been selected or not. But yeah, if you have some time on your hands and you want to try something new, please give it a shot. And also, I'm not very picky with whether you test it or not. Like, I know that's important for some designers. They'll ask you like, have you tested? Like, I think I do ask it as well. I do ask it, but I don't really care. Like, it's just a FYI, just getting to know you. Like, have you tested before? But I usually have a lot of people that haven't tested before to test for me. So again, no worries for that. But I think we can close this chapter because it's already a lot. And I'm so in love. Like, I'm so proud of these designs, you guys. Like, they feel so me and they're so cozy. I'm just very happy, at least about this. That's really what matters. I'm so glad I have knitting in my life. Anyway, now we can move on to the only finished object that is really not that exciting. But again, talking about Soctober, I finished the pair of socks that I was working on, I think since July. So if October is month 10, I've been working on this for 4 months. And yeah, here they are. This is the first one that I finished. Clearly this is the one that I finished recently because it has all the ends that are still like not woven in, stitch markers attached and not blocked. But yeah, say hello to my new pair of socks. I am on a challenge to knit 5 pairs of socks at least this year, and this is pair 3. Yeah. So I think this was pair 4 because I was knitting a pair, but now like I knitted one sock and my mom is now knitting the other one. So does that really count? I don't think so. Also because I think that they will be for her. So I think this is pair 3. So I really need to get going. But I already casted on a 4th pair. The yarn that I use for this is Lanagato Eden. It's quite nice. I don't know if I would recommend it as a sock yarn because it is a single ply and it's not really durable. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I also have a sweater quantity of this. So I think these will be like bed socks, like not even house socks, bed socks. So I don't wear them, like I don't get holes in them too fast. But the yarn is super nice, super colorful. So I would suggest it. I don't know when I'll start it, but I would like to start one, like a sweater with this yarn. Kind of gives like, 70s grandpa vibes. It's not really in my color palette, but it gives autumn. So maybe I'll have to start this. Actually, maybe I have to, work with the autumn while it's here. I mean, is it really here? It's 18 degrees outside. Yeah, we can say that for Italy. That's quite cold. Cold. Right. And I casted on a new sock yesterday. I wanted to do a rewatch of the Harry Potter movies because, of course, that's what you do. But what happened is that I was so tired yesterday and I was watching The Chamber of Secrets. And after, a bit, I was like falling asleep. So I was like, goodbye, mom. So this is what I ended up doing yesterday. I don't know if I'm knitting quite loose just because if you've been here, I have very big calves and very big ankles. I don't have ankles. I have ankles, very big ankles. And I don't know, it looks quite wide, but it's my usual sock. To be honest, I'm not very adventurous. Like my friend Sara that I'm hosting a knit along with, she's like, oh yeah, that's why I don't knit like stockinette or ribbing socks, just because they're not that interesting. And I'm like, girl, I wish. But anyway, maybe in the future. Oh gosh, this is the yarn that I'm using. I'm so happy. Look how cute this is. It's probably the most me sock yarn that I own. It's so stunning. It's a West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply, and I think it is, clearly self-striping, but I think it's the like wood pigeon color or something like that. But everything will be linked down below as usual. And yep, I did the calf in 2x2, and I started a couple of rows of 3x1. It's the same as this sock. The exact same. I'm not the most ambitious sock knitter that I know. Probably the least ambitious. I think all of my socks have been like 3x1 ribbing socks, except one. So I think my next pair of socks will be with some hand-dyed yarn. And maybe there will be the hibernal socks, which by who? Summer Lee knits, I think. But they're quite cute. I think they have a bit of cabling. I kind of have to see how variegated my yarn is because I don't want the cable to get lost, but I can still start that and then see how it goes. Maybe. I'm not sure. I really am not sure. But anyways, yeah, the pattern that I follow for this, like it's really not a pattern, but I do a 56 stitch socks on a 2.5 millimeter needles. and it fits quite snug, but at least it goes it goes up my heel, which is what matters at the end of the day. And then I do I think a size extra large heel flapping gusset with 16 slip stitches on them. And yeah, pick up and do the thing and wedge toe. Very basic. But let's give one more look at the yarn, because it really deserves its moment to shine. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about this sock, actually. Very nice. Now, guys, I started my Christmas sweater, and oh, it was in the background this whole time. Never mind. Here it is. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Like, you know, I don't have too many things ongoing right now, but I'm excited on what I have, and it's turning out great, I think. Let me show you. This is where I got. If I only knew where the front is. Here it is. You cannot see anything. Maybe if I show you the back, it's a bit nicer. This is everything that I did in a week, basically, from Sunday to Sunday. Nice! So if you weren't here last time, I'm knitting the Christmas sweater by Sandnes garn, which is this one over here, in the recommended colors, recommended yarn, 10 per gint. Lot of things going on. So first of all, this is already blocked, so don't be like, oh my gosh, your tension is so nice, how is it done? No girl, I just blocked this already. Wasn't that nice before this. Yeah, so you start off knitting flat with color work, and of course, why not start with three colors color work? So that was a bit like, you know, because it was my first time doing both, like knitting color work flat and knitting color work with 3 colors at the same time. Was quite intense. And as I said, I'm hosting a knit along with my friend Sara from Hen. Oh my god, why do I always forget? Hand Knit by Sara, I think. Yeah, on Instagram, but I'll link her profiles down below. I hope I did it in the past episode. I have to check the description. But anyway, she's amazing, and we're hosting this KAL together, and we hosted a cast-on party. And so I was hosting together with her this cast-on party while trying not to mess up too much at the beginning. And like with my 3 colors color work, I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't talk too much, but I had to call people out to present themselves and all of that. So it was kind of intense, very interesting experience. But anyways, this is where we got. Basically, you start by, again, working flat. This is a raglan. And of course, you know the construction where you work flat and then join in the round instead of doing short rows. That's exactly what you do. But, for increasing at the front, you do, with adding stitches with backward loop cast on method instead of like increases and stuff. I'm not very convinced about that technique. It doesn't look the prettiest, if you can tell. I don't know. And also the pattern suggested, if you have both colors, you can cast on with both colors, and it'll make your life easier, because then you don't have to like twist your yarn to get it to the front again and to start knitting, and it's less messy. And of course I didn't read that part because it was like tiny. The pattern is not that, it's the thing you care about the most is the chart, really, because you have the yoke charted, and then you have the general chart for the body and the sleeves. So like, I get it, you don't need that much information. Like, I am not the most experienced colorwork knitter, but I have knitted colorwork in the past, so I kind of know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing a little bit. Wouldn't suggest it, of course, as your first colorwork pattern, because it has many rows of 3 colors colorwork. and it's fingering weight, and it's on tiny needles, and wouldn't suggest it, to be honest, because, you know, if you need information about, you know, color dominance, or how to hold your yarn, or what yarn to hold dominant, that information is not in the pattern. So yeah, you have to take that into account. But yeah, I'm quite satisfied with what I did. I think the floats look nice. It's clear that I didn't catch them, especially at the beginning, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is so messy. But yeah, I did it with some colors, like, you know, the oh gosh, my battery's running out. With the yellows here, because they were going to be a little too long, and also with the brown here, like the trunks of the Christmas trees. But yeah, actually this part doesn't have 3 colors color work. The garlands have a lot of 3 colors color work, but they look stunning, so I'm very, very happy. But you can see, maybe, oh gosh, after seeing this blog, it's even worse. The neck is quite big. So, but you know, the neck is quite big. Also in the pattern, you can see the base of the cast on just sits quite low on the neck, and, like, you know, the start of the raglan kind of starts almost on your shoulders. So trying this on does fit about the same. Sorry for the microphone, I don't know what you heard. Kind of fits the same, but I think the next thing that I'll do is to do the neckline. I would do that because it just, I don't know, makes everything look so much more put together, and kind of gives a sense to everything, really, especially in a raglan, especially when you have so many ends and things. You can just, you know, tag them into your neck and you're fine. So I think it's going to be very nice with the neck on. So that will be the next thing that I do for this. But yeah, I'm quite happy with my floats. Like, look at the Christmas trees. That's really satisfying. Like, I love it. Like, you have a white Christmas trees with the green background. Really like it. And I'm also really proud with, you know, how I am managing my floats and my color dominance, because now I think I know more what I'm doing. Like, what I do is I always hold my background color non-dominant, and then when you work with 3 colors, usually you have one of the 2 contrast colors that you use less. And like for this, for example, for the red, I wanted the red to pop. I didn't want to get lost, especially because there are not so many stitches. So I hold the red more dominant than the green. So I knit with 2 hands, so one English and one continental. So I just knit with 2 colors, and when the 3rd color comes into play, I like that is the one that goes underneath all of them. So that's, in my head, the most dominant. In my head, and if I understood everything correctly, the dominant colors lays underneath the non-dominant one, so hence it lays closer to the fabric than the non-dominant one. So I have, for example, in this, the non-dominant color, that is the tweed. Then I have the color that dominates that is the green. And then I have the red that dominates both the green and the tweed. I really hope I'm making sense. Like, if you're if you're a more experienced, like, multiple stranded colorwork knitter, let me know what you think. Like, am I just losing my mind, or does this make sense? Because it does in my head. And, you know, I started my master's degree, and it's very, very, very math intensive. So, and of course, the professors just assume that you know so much more than you actually do. So, like, you know, my problem solving skills they are developing. and I'm trying to explain things about the world to myself because people won't explain that to me. So explain it to me. Am I making sense? Does this train of thought that I have going on make sense, or am I absolutely losing my mind? Let me know. Let me know. Maybe you're curious to see my swatch. Are you? I don't know if I have it. The swatch does not look that good. Let me tell you, it's terrible. I found it. Of course, I chose to swatch with the palette. The palettes? No. Of course, I swatched with the part of the chart that had 3 colors per row. This is a very humbling swatch. Like, I mean, to be honest, it's all the Peer Gynt. Like, it's all his. It's not merit that you can see something, but you can see, when you turn. So, when you work flat, you're working flat. So, if you don't do anything, if you have like a rows of contrast color, when you go back to pearl that row with the contrast color, is going to be kind of separated from the main color stitch that is before that, if you know what I mean. So there are a lot of holes in this gauge swatch. So I kind of use the middle part with this, which is a bit more decent, to kind of measure some type of gauge. I don't know. I remeasured my gauge on the sweater, and I think I don't know, I'm confused. I'm either on gauge or like plus minus 1, like either 1 stitch too big or 1 stitch too small, or on gauge. I don't know. I think I have to knit more. Maybe my gauge like varied a bit when I started knitting in the round. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'm quite proud with the progress on that. I don't think the progress in the next few weeks are going to be like it's going to be quite as fast, the progress, but that's why we started early. But yeah, anyway, if you want to join the knit along, please do. It's called the Christmas Pullover KAL, and I talked about it more in the last episode, so maybe I won't have to bother you that much with it in this episode. So you can go back to my last one to get more like precise details on that. But I'll leave in the description box the link to the Instagram group chat if you want to join, to have some inspiration and just see what other people are doing. And I also created a bundle for the knit along where I grouped all of the patterns that people suggested or that people are doing in a bundle, so that if you need inspiration, if some people will join along the way, they'll just have something to reference if they need. So that will be linked as well in the description box. And I also had to say something. Oh yeah, whips are welcome, of course. So if you start now, you don't have to finish. Or if you have a whip going on, that's totally fine. Like if you have an old whip, you can resume that and work a little bit on that and it'll be fine. Again, we're chill, but it kind of has to be like a festive garment. I already explained that in the past episode, so if you're confused on that, go watch that. It's going to be linked below. And this was a finished object and it's now work in progress. That's, I frogged. If oh my gosh, this breaks my heart a bit. But I know it will be so worth it. What happened? I frogged basically almost everything of my Maxine sweater. I tested it for Laura 1 year ago, I think, today. As you can see, it's stunning. The color work, it's stunning. The fit, it's stunning, or at least it would have been if I followed the pattern correctly, but I made a mistake. What did I do? I didn't realize that right after the last row of color work, you had to work another round of increases to then start the short rows. So maybe the short rows are come a little bit too much to the front. And then when I split for sleeves, like for body and sleeves, I just messed up, and the front was smaller than the front was bigger than the back. Like I had less stitches on the back than I did on the front, and the sleeves were the correct size, but the body was a bit too small. I think maybe a bit smaller than the size down from what I was knitting. So like you couldn't really tell, but it's something like sometimes you can see mistakes, but you cannot really feel them on your body. I think this was the case where you couldn't really see the mistake, but I felt it when I was wearing it. And I know Laura had put like so much effort in making sure this fitted correctly, and it fits perfectly on everyone else. So I want to have a Maxine sweater that fits, also because this is quite like sentimental sweater. I worked on it in my, it feels so long ago. Like it feels not that long ago, but it kind of is. In my university exchange in Edinburgh. I don't know if you were there. But yeah, and the yarns, they're all from the UK. Most of it's from Scotland, a couple from the UK. So this is my like, Edinburgh, Scotland sweater. So I would like it to be fitting properly, and I would want to be able to wear it. I chose to do, there are two options for the neck, like crew neck or turtleneck. I chose to do the turtleneck when I was there just because I moved to Scotland not bringing a scarf. So it was quite windy and I needed something to cover my neck, so I did this and I wore it a ton. But now that it's clearly not so cold here, I want to rip this back. Like, unfortunately, because look how neat this is. Look at the bind off. I'm just surprised. But I want to, fold it down into the crew neck. And I thought about this being the first thing that I change about this sweater, but then I'm like, so I have one more skein that I brought before coming back, because I thought that, I needed to modify it so this would be bigger than what it currently is. So yeah, what's the point? So I bought one more skein just in case. So I want to see how I go with that, like where that gets me. And then, because this is a folded one, I'm thinking of maybe knitting the inner part of the fold in a different yarn so that I can get all the possible yarn that I can from the neckline. So maybe I'll just work, like, I still haven't finished ripping this out. You can see there are still short rows on here. I need to, like with the needle, pick up the, running out of battery. Am I kidding? The row, the last row of color work, so that I can, do that. It's so upsetting that everything is just because I didn't do one row of increases. So yeah, I'll have to do that. So I haven't finished frogging, but I have the yarn. I want to wash this because you can see it's quite noodly noodles. The yarn, the main yarn is Kinross 4-ply as well. This is why it's so expensive. It's not the most expensive yarn, especially for how nice it is, but I'm holding it double, so it kind of adds up really. So I want to be able to wear this very much because it's very soft. Not the yoke in particular. Look at the floats. They're stunning. Like, to be honest, this colorwork is, I think, the most beautiful one I've ever knitted. It looks printed on for how neat this is. I'm so happy. Like, I don't know, do you see it? It's a work of art. Maybe I even prefer the inside part compared to the outside. But anyway, this is the yarn. And it bloomed a lot. That's why I want to wash it again to see if it blooms a bit more, because if it blooms more, then it would be maybe easier to knit if I go a size up. like on 4.5 millimeter needles, I think. Then I'll get more centimeters out of my yarn, and it will be maybe a bit more wearable if the gauge is a bit less dense. I'm not sure. I am not sure, but I have to finish frogging this first. But I'm filming a vlog on this, and yeah, I don't have a stockinette in the round project, and I didn't feel like starting anything big new, just because I have my brain is so full of thoughts at the moment that I'm like, nah, I want to dig through my stash to find something else. This is already half done in my mind, so this is girl math. I'm not wasting my time. I am knitting another sweater with free yarn. That's what I'm doing, so I'm very happy to be doing that. And yeah, this is all of my projects at the moment. And I have no acquisitions, but I realized that last time I forgot to show you an acquisition that I acquired since the previous episode. I got this from, again, the same yarn shop where I got this yarn, the lady that was retiring and stuff. This is Lane du Nord Coral. It's 100% merino wool, and it has this ply that it's so interesting. Like, it's so nice. Like, it looks ropey, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have too much. I have maybe 800 or 700 meters, but I'm thinking that maybe a more chunky-ish, a more like tight-fitting ribbed sweater would be nice. I don't know. So I'm thinking of that. The color, I like it a lot. So, and it's really, really non-scratchy at all. Might be superwash, not sure. But yeah, I have 8 skeins, and every skein is 50, 60 meters. Meters? Yep, 60 meters. So it's quite chunky, actually. Yeah, it goes for from 6.5 to 7 millimeter needles, which I've never used that chunky. No, I had used 9 and 10 in the past, but I never used actually like 6.5 or 7. I never used. So will be interesting. And then I mentioned that I went to a yarn fair, and I bought only some like charms that I turned into stitch markers. So I really want to show you this cat. Then I have Harry again. Hello. I have I don't really know what that is called in English. Chiave di violino. I don't know. Then I have another cat. Love. Oh, look how nice that would have been on this. Okay. And then I have my favorite one, which I hope is in here, because that's really the one that I have to show you. Yeah, here it is. I'm using it on my Christmas sweater. It wasn't on the sweater because I blocked it. It's a little capybara. Isn't that the cutest stitch marker you've ever seen in your life? Look how cute it is. Oh my god. This makes me happy. But anyway, yeah, I'm done. Finally, I'm fun. I'm done rambling and going on weird tangents. Yeah, I have no other updates. So, of course, again, if you want to apply to test this a beautiful Sandro vneck, please do. I would be really happy to work with you. And if you know maybe some friends that would be interested, please share the word with them. That really, really helps me out. And yeah, I really want to thank you, everyone, to thank everyone for the support, because I don't know, I feel like I don't do that enough, because to be honest, I don't film that often. So, and if I forget, then I go a long time without thanking you. But I don't know, I'm just really proud of my work in general that I'm doing over here on, especially on my patterns, but also here on YouTube. I don't know, I really like doing this, so I hope I can continue doing this in the years to come. Also, you know, with the fall coming, I started seeing new Sandro popping up, and that's so exciting, really, because you know, if especially that was my first design ever, like it released pretty well, like much better than I was expecting. And but you know, after a while the sales were like dropping. Of course, that was absolutely normal, but I was like, I wonder if that's because, you know, the hype of it is gone, or it's because maybe, you know, it wasn't seasonally appropriate, like who's working on a Sandro in like July. Like, you know, some people, but you know, it's not like I was making millions of it, you know. It's not like I made millions of it in the first place, but you know, I wasn't selling that much. But in August, especially, which you know surprised me a lot, you know, in that second half of August, the sale, you know, some people started buying that again. So that means that, you know, they had saw it or like put it in their favorites, and you know, they didn't have time to knit it before the summer came, but then remembered about it and like, you know, started it when the time was appropriate again, which is crazy. Like, you know, being a crazy obsessive knitter, I know how it feels like when you're like, I want to start that so bad, but the time is not good, so I have to wait. And it's crazy that, you know, some people are thinking that with my design is crazy. Like, I feel like this thinking about it. It's very, very nice. Um, yeah. I think I'll let you go. I'll let you go. And yeah, you can again remember that I said it already. That the Google form for the application is down below, together with everything. And I also started a TikTok account like months ago, probably in the winter. I have like 5 followers. That's fine. I will post weekly updates on my Christmas sweater. I'm doing it on YouTube Shorts as well, but I don't know if you use TikTok. Feel free to give a look at that, but I don't know. But I'm curious to see how that goes, to be honest, because I never posted consistently on there, so it makes sense that I never grew. You know, that's how it works. But yeah, and you can follow me on Instagram if you want, or you can subscribe to this channel if you're still here after all the rambling that I'm doing. But anyway, I hope that everything you're knitting on is a success. Let me know what you were working on during this video down below, please. And yeah, I hope that however or wherever you are, I hope I'll see you in the next episode. So yeah, bye guys.